I'm Richard Randall, and welcome back to the Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. In fact, she is the real estate voice, and this is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or to sell real estate. It does it with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, most people are very concerned about which comes first: sell first, then live in temporary housing, or buy first, then sell at your leisure. So what are some solutions that you have, Barb, for your home sold guaranteed realty?
Well, it's a huge dilemma, and unfortunately, most people face that dilemma. And I'll ask them, do you need to sell your home in order to buy your next home? And if the answer is yes, then the project is to sell the home first. We can negotiate post-closing possession, so you're not having to do it all in the same day. I've got one closing this week where the seller's staying in the house for about 6 weeks after closing. That was ideal for them, and the buyer was willing to accommodate. So, we can make that work sometimes so that it's not such a chaotic move. But if you need the money in order to purchase your next home out of the proceeds of the sale, then the first step is to sell it. And I would say most people really want certainty that everything is going to go through, right? They want certainty that their house is going to sell. They want certainty that they're going to get the price that they want and need. They want certainty that things are going to go smoothly. And selling a home is not a simple process. It is a big project. Just the act of moving. I've seen a lot of people just, grown adults break into tears over just dealing with having to get rid of all the stuff, and it's like, I thought I was all packed up and I find more stuff in the closet. It's just overwhelming, right? So with a little bit of planning, we can help you make that whole entire process go more smoothly. They want certainty that they're going to find a home at their destination. So a lot of people do that well in advance. They'll go, okay, this is where I'm moving to. I know I can get a home that I can afford there. Some people will move and rent there for a while and look around and be comfortable. Other people will go out and commit to their next home first, which does put a lot of pressure on the home seller because, what if they price the home in such a way, or they prepare the home in such a way where it doesn't sell right away? It just makes people really stressed out. And most people want the certainty that they're going to have the funds to improve their lifestyle, because at the end of the day, why do people move at all? They don't have to move. They don't have to buy houses. They do it because they want to improve their lifestyle, be it going to a bigger home, or maybe improving their lifestyle means going to a smaller home, or maybe improving their lifestyle means going to a warmer climate or going to a warmer elevation. We see a lot of that here. A lot of people, as they get older, have a hard time with the elevation and seem to feel better in lower elevations. So at the end of the day, that's why they do it. So you really want to make sure that you're hiring somebody that actually knows how to help make sure that the process goes well. Let me give you an example. I had a listing out east in Fountain. It was on acreage, and the seller was home for every showing, and he got to meet every buyer that came through his house. He gave him the tour. And we ended up getting 4 offers on his home because they priced it right. There was one buyer in particular that he really liked. The buyer said everything right. The buyer's like, oh, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, don't worry about fixing that broken tub. Don't worry about cleaning up that pile of wood out there outside. I'll take care of that. I just love your home. I want to buy your home. So anyway, so we got the offer. We got 4 offers. That was one of the offers. They really wanted this buyer. I'm like, okay. We did a counter proposal. Now we were doing this on a Sunday. So normally I like to look at offers on a Monday. That's better because I have a higher likelihood of getting a hold of the lender to make sure the buyer has the ability to perform, right? But this was a Sunday. And so I'm like, okay, well, let me just try to call this lender. So we had the counter proposal written. All I had to do was hit send, and within minutes, that buyer could sign that contract and that seller would have been committed to selling to that buyer. but I just didn't feel good about not doing the due diligence. So I got on the phone, I got hold of the lender. By some miracle, the lender answered the phone. And so I said, I just have a question. It seems like with their offer, they have kind of a low down payment for the type of loan. It was FHA. Normally FHA would require 3.5% down, but this borrower was only putting 1,000 down. So my question was, are they getting down payment assistance? And the lender said, no, but they have a house to sell. I'm like, what? I did not know that. In their offer, there was nothing in there about the buyer selling the home.
Wow.
And so I'm like, okay. He goes, but I'm sure they've already sold it. I'm like, oh, all right. Well, what is the address? So I look it up real quick on the computer, and sure enough, it had just hit the market that day. So they presented the offer with the assumption that their house was going to sell, and they didn't have to let the seller know that they had to sell a home in order to perform on the contract, which took away all the certainty, right? And they didn't tell the truth about their ability to perform. So fortunately, I had not sent that counter proposal over yet. And after I found this out from the lender, I picked up the phone and called the seller and said, hey, before I send this counter proposal, I want to tell you what I learned. And I want to know if you're 100% sure that this is your buyer. And so when I told him the story that the buyer had a house to sell that they didn't tell us about, which is kind of a good faith issue, don't you think, Richard, if they're not telling the whole story? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, honesty is a big deal. And I think human nature is that if somebody doesn't, disclose, or if they're not completely honest with you about one thing, you have to ask yourself, so what else aren't you telling me?
Exactly. And the buyer's agent didn't tell me. And the buyer's agent knew, because I asked the lender that question. There was a very detailed, really well-written pre-approval letter that came with that offer that said, I verified their income. I have copies of their tax returns and their pay stubs, and they're already approved through automatic underwriting. So they checked all of my boxes in the letter. The reason I called the lender is I wanted to, well, I do it every time anyway, but I want to make sure that this buyer actually was in good shape. And what I found out was surprising. So I asked him, how come you did not put in your pre-approval letter that they had to sell a home to perform? And his answer was, oh, we never do that. We just tell the buyer's agent and they do what they do. And I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. So that was really an education for me. I've been doing this years and years, and I learned stuff every single day. What that taught me is you have to ask the question, do they have a house to sell in order to perform? Because there are going to be some people that aren't going to tell the truth. What was interesting was the lender did pivot to another buyer. And then about an hour later, I get this panicky call from the first buyer's agent going, oh, I forgot to put in my contract that they had to sell a house to perform.
Yeah.
Like, really? You forgot?
Right.
Okay. Anyway, they didn't get the house, but you want to make sure you hire an agent that gives you certainty in every way, not just, that they can put a home up on the market and get it sold. You want to be sure it's going to go through, because once you accept a contract, most people move towards packing their boxes. Now the house doesn't look show ready anymore. Now they got to deal with inspection and appraisal. The deal could fall out at that point. And if you have to go back on the market, it's not fun, right? So you want certainty that this is going to go through and everybody is all in. So you want to make sure you hire the team that guarantees the sale, the team that gets you top dollar, the team that offers you the least amount of hassle and guarantees a smooth on-time closing. And that's what we offer our clients. So having a house to sell for a buyer is probably one of the biggest dilemmas that most people have. Now that the market has softened a bit, there are some sellers that are going to accept an offer contingent on the buyer's house selling, as long as they have reasonable expectation that it's going to go through, right? Either that person selling the home has it priced right. There's different factors that they can do, and there's negotiating techniques that we can use to say, all right, well, we're going to keep marketing the home as active until you get your house under contract. I prefer to do that strategy because if you look at some of these big tech websites like realtor.com and all that, if you put the little status that is contingent on a home selling, it looks the same as any other under contract listing. And a lot of buyers will just pass that home by. So it is a big dilemma for buyers. We can guarantee the sale of their home so they can buy our listing because we have those guarantees available for our clients. And a lot of offers will get rejected based on contingent sales. I recently had one in which there were 6 offers and 2 of the offers had a house to sell. And the seller's like, no, 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 I don't care if it's the highest offer. I want certainty that it's going to go through. So you want to hire the team that has your back. You don't want to rely on the agent's word or even a lender letter. We got to get in the phone. You want the agent that knows how to verify this stuff. You could buy your home now and sell it later. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if you have a paid for home. A lot of people don't want to deal with the house payment, but sometimes that's the least stressful way to make it happen. But you want to make sure that you have an agent that has all kinds of different solutions to make sure you have certainty that the sale is going through. And that's part of what we do. Not only do we provide our seller certainty with a guaranteed sale, we offer the guaranteed sale to buyers buying their home if they come directly to us. We even offer the guaranteed sale to the buyer that's going to buy and close on your home by offering a warranty and saying, love the home you buy, we'll buy it back or sell it for free. Not too many companies do that. We have those solutions that give you certainty throughout the process. So if you are thinking of making a move and you want to know what your house will sell for in this market and you want it guaranteed, give us a call at 719-301-3900. Richard?
You're listening to the Real Estate Voice. That's Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb, we've got time. Can you tell us about some of your hot new listings?
Yes, I've got lots of them. We'll start with a really cool home that's owned by the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. It needs a little bit of work, so it's priced low at 2018 Babbling Stream. Really lovely 3-bedroom, 3-bath with a 2-car garage. An adorable home in the 80909 zip code, 2887 Mary Lane, really cute rancher with gleaming hardwood floors, priced in the mid-3s. Really lovely 4-level with hardwood floors underneath that carpet, priced at $375. I just sold Sather. There's a great home on East Platte, priced at $599. This is a gorgeous Victorian, beautiful home. 3620 Tapestry Terrace over by Cottonwood Park in the mid-4s, and then a beautiful Southwest home on 1006 Zodiac and 1025 Garlack Court. This is a gorgeous home overlooking Pulpit Rock, stunning custom home. And one more that's not on the list, we have coming up a great home. It's a townhome on Soaring Eagle that's going to be priced in the low 2s. Great starter home, and that one's coming up. So if you want to find out about all of our coming soon homes, you can go to barbhasthebuyers.com or give us a call at 719-301-3900. Richard?
You've been listening to the Real Estate Voice. It airs every Saturday. And if you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. And you can see replays of this show on Barb's YouTube channel. That's Barb Schlinker, SCHLINKER, or go ahead and visit the podcast on all of the popular podcast platforms, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. Thank you for listening this weekend. And to reach out to Barb, give her a call, 719-301-3900. December is a great time of year for her, and she has got plenty of advice for you. Thank you for listening, Barb. You have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.